here with Andy Barth at the Dave Schultz Memorial International. Got a variety of questions for you. I want to start off with the announcement we're going to be making about you serving as our freestyle men's team leader for the World Championships and beyond in this quadrennium. And could you talk a little bit about why you decided you wanted to get involved and directly be part of the program, spend your time and effort to help the American program in men's freestyle?
Yeah. Well, it's a great program, and you got great people involved. I'm excited to work with the coaches. I think Zeke, Bill, Brandon, great guys. I think they have a strong vision and a strong understanding for how to drive the U.S. Freestyle men's program to even a greater level of success. And we've talked about it, and I'm 100% behind what they're doing. And I feel like if I can help in any way, and one of the ways certainly be with some financial support, I think we can really work to achieve some of those goals that they've laid out. And I think that's exciting. It's exciting for U.S. Wrestling. I'm looking forward to the next 4 years being one of the most successful 4-year periods ever. And being a part of that is thrilling, exciting, humbling, all those wonderful adjectives, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it.
So, this role puts you right with the team at the World Championships, participating with the coaches and athletes at the most important times of the year. As a person who wrestled and understands the sport, is that kind of a thrill for you to be part of, helping build maybe a world title for the United States, or help individual athletes do their best?
Well, I think that's the way we'll get to a world title, by getting each athlete to perform at their highest level, giving them the resources and the opportunity to make themselves just the best that they can possibly be, and then we'll be able to put more guys on the podium and bring home one of those world titles, one of those elusive world titles for the U.S. I would really like to see us bring one home, and I think that being a part of that, having the opportunity to be there when it happens, could just be one of certainly the biggest thrills of my life as it relates to wrestling. Probably doesn't top the birth of my children or my wedding day,
sure,
Gary, but it's going to be very close behind those.
So, you've gotten to know a bunch of the athletes and coaches and create some personal relationships. What kind of things can you help them with in the team leader role to become better at what they do and to, work together as a team and as a country?
Well, I think some of them, they do need some additional resources, some additional opportunities to be traveling, wrestling, competing, training overseas. I think I can help with that. I think every athlete is going to go through maybe some challenging periods, whether it's mentally or emotionally. I think as someone who's been older, I'm still older, who's still older, has wrestled, gone through challenging times, with wrestling or business, and been able to persevere and come out. I think I can help them if they're willing, interested, and want to have an opportunity at some mentoring aspects. I think I can help with that, and I think that just working with the whole person is a thrill. Gary, I like to think about anything I undertake. I like to think, am I going to achieve 3 things? Am I going to have the opportunity to learn something? Am I going to have the opportunity to have some fun? And am I going to have the opportunity to meet and experience and be with great people? And I'm looking forward to this opportunity, checking off all 3 of those boxes. I think it's going to be fun, because I think we're going to achieve some success. I'm certainly going to learn some things along the way. And I know right now that whether it's the athletes, the coaches, the USA Wrestling executive staff, I'm working with great people.
Well, let's also move to another project you're involved with. Titan Mercury Wrestling Club was created this year, a brand new senior level club, which you also are doing a lot with the age group peoples in your community. But let's talk a little bit about how that club got going and what kind of things you're hoping to achieve on the club level.
Sure. Well, one of the things I really want to achieve with the club, we'll start with that first, is I really want to find a way to, through our club, work with athletes and help them achieve, better access to resource, more opportunities than they would have if our club wasn't around. I think that we're looking forward to working with athletes who are not just part of our club. We're looking at some joint opportunities to help support athletes and help them achieve more tournaments, more travel, more training camps than they would have otherwise. And I think that again, it's all about what can we do to try to help athletes achieve their potential. You know, they're on a 4-year journey to achieve their dream. What can we do to help them reach that dream? And what can we do to help them, you know, stand on the podium at World Championships and Olympic Games? And so we're looking at a number of ways to do that. You know, the club started modestly last spring. I really wanted to start slowly, and it sort of mushroomed and snowballed, and
Sure.
and we've gotten involved at the senior level, probably in a bigger way than I'd expected, both in the men's and the women's program, and with a little bit more success than I would have anticipated now. That's exciting in and of itself. I love the people we're working with. Our coaches are great. They're doing a great job with the young athletes. And, you know, it's just exciting. And we're trying to just continue to deliver, you know, in a quality way, make sure that the experience that our athletes is a top-notch one, that coaches who are working with these athletes can count on and rely on us to help them. And it's I won't say a thrill a minute, but it's a thrill every few weeks, every few months.
Yeah.
It's a great new thrill, and it's fun to be. I have a lot of fun being involved.
Beat the Streets in Los Angeles is a program that's about a year old now. Yeah, it's
Coming up on a year in May. Yeah.
And making a huge impact for young people in one of the major cities in the country and the world. Talk a little bit about how that project's going and the things that drive you to reach out to the people in the urban area of LA.
Well, I got to tell you, to answer that last question first, you know, every time, you know, we get a letter or we get a comment back, get a letter from parents, get a comment from principals or teachers talking about how, you know, bringing the wrestling program into the school has you know, help, you know, certain kids focus, help them appreciate school more, you know, keeping them out of trouble. You're talking about behavioral changes in a positive way. You know, we get those every, you know, probably some comment from somebody every week or you know, every couple of weeks. And every time you get one of those, you say, I know we're doing this for the right reasons, and I know we're doing it in the right way. We're currently, you know, so as you said, we're up about 9 months now. We've got great executive staff, Yaru Washington, Kevin Lake, Marcy Van Duzen. We have 7 programs up, running. And we should be adding a couple more. We should be up here, you know, before we get to our 1-year anniversary. We'll be at 9, maybe 10. We've been able to extend our cooperation from another group in LA called After School All Stars, to working with the LA Sheriff's Department. They're very interested in seeing us expand Beat the Streets LA programs into schools, and also the LA Schools Police Department, another critical group, and so we're expanding the breadth of our relationships, deepening those relationships, and I think we're going to continue to see programs growing. We're probably working with 100, 125 kids, you know, on a weekly basis now, a couple times a week, and you know, I just love to see us impacting the lives of more kids. And because every time you hear the feedback of how you've helped a kid, you know, do better in school, do better in life, that's a total reward. Total reward.
Now, what's it about wrestling that's kind of hooked you and got you where you're giving back to the sport and actually helping build the sport? You know, obviously you're at an age where you're not competing anymore, you're not working in a coaching role in the sport, but you've certainly devoted a ton of time and energy into wrestling. What's it about the sport that makes it important to you?
I just think that wrestling really helps train people to do their best, to keep trying, teaches you important values and discipline, and I think the degree to which we can expose people to wrestling, involve more kids in wrestling, I think it's going to make for a better place. You know, wrestling is something that you know, once you start it, you really can't get it out of your system. Maybe you can suppress it for a little while, but you can't get it out of your system. And I love, you know, I love sitting here watching, you know, each session of the Schultz tournament. You know, 5-6 hours at a time. I could sit here even longer. But I just love watching people wrestle. I love watching, young people, push themselves, find the guts and the desire to pull out matches in the last few seconds. Those types of things help you all through your life, and it inspires people all through their life. So wrestling is a great sport. I think it's underappreciated in our country. It's under-recognized. I think by being in LA and doing things in LA, we're going to have the chance to expand the sport, expand the awareness of the sport nationally. And I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing for young people to be involved. It's a good thing for us older folks to continue in. And I think it's a good thing for our country.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Andy.
You're welcome, Gary, and thank you for everything you do. You're doing a wonderful job, and appreciate it. And you're one of the more diligent guys I know. Thank you very much.
We keep working at it, man.
Yeah. Thanks very much.